Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 23 of 31 Days of Halloween. How's everyone doing today? Oh, happy, Wednesday. So, yes, we are at day 23 of 31 Days of Halloween. Thank you, everyone who's been watching and supporting me. I greatly appreciate it and love your guys' support. And when you show up to help me and ask questions and comment, it makes my lives so much better. I love answering your questions. I love being here for you. And I'm loving this 31 days of Halloween. So, welcome to Teresa's Spot for Art, where I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy in your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. And I never know what to do with my glasses, off or on. So, today we have these three pieces of wood. Another, basically scrap wood. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit bigger than scrap wood, but they were scrap wood. Sometimes when I do signs or porch leaners, you have to cut off the bad ends, and then you have leftover lumber. Could I make stuff out of this? Sure, of course, and I'm going to today. So I have these three pieces of wood. They're about 7¼ by 5 by 3/4 inch. So this would be like a 1 by, but a 1 by is not really 1 inch thick. It's more like 3/4 inch thick. And then I have a bunch of printables for you guys. So let me show you what we have here. This I'm going to be using, but I can't share these with you because this particular one I got from someone else, and I was going to share it with you. But let me tell you guys a little secret. Let me tell you guys something. I was going to share this one with you. It's really pretty, okay? I love it. I'm going to use it because I love it. I don't know where it came from. So I can't share it with you because I don't know where it came from, and I need to let you know where it came from, but I don't remember where I got it from. And you know why I don't remember where I got it from? Because they didn't put any information on it. Unlike me, and if you are a creator out there and you're sharing stuff, look, I have my name and my website on the bottom. So not that I'm poo-pooing this because this is gorgeous, but if you're a creator out there and you're a small business and you're making and sharing and doing all kinds of stuff, put your name on things. It's not obnoxious. You made it. You earned it. You get it. It's all good. Put your name on this. I would have to go back and scour through so many things to find out where this came from. If you're watching and you know this is yours, feel free to post it and say, hey, I made that. Please give me the credit, and I will, because that's what I do. Anyway, I have made these for you. So this will get cut. It's front and back. It's Frankenstein. This one is the Halloween tree. And I had a third here. Oh, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And then I have the book binds. Here we go. The book binders, edges, bindings. There we go, bindings. Okay. So I'm going to turn you guys around and we are going to get started. So my wood, let me see. My wood has a little bit of a rounded edge on one side. I sanded this one side with a little bit of a rounded edge. And then this side I left straight. That's going to be the back of the book. This is going to be the front of the book. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. If these were lighter and not as dark or vibrant, I would paint my blocks first. But because I don't need that, and I don't need this one just yet. Because these are dark, I do not have to paint my books first. I can just leave them. But if this was more of a lighter design, lighter artwork, but I want these to be really dark because they're Halloween and they're Halloween book covers, I'm going to leave my wood the way it is. I could really paint my wood black, but there's no need to. But I'm just letting you know, had I been doing something with like less softer colors and not so vibrant and opaque, I would paint my book covers. All right, I'm going to take this one and I'm going to cut it out with some scissors. This one's a little smaller because, again, like I said, this was not mine, but I'm just going to show you what we can do with it. This is somebody else's, so I was not able to, it's a PDF, So I was not able to completely size it the exact way I wanted to. I played with it, but too much was getting cut off. So, and then I had enough. So I'm just going to cut this one out. You could use your paper cutter if you have one, up to you. And then I'm going to cut the binding. This one does not have a back to it, and I didn't make a back to it, but we're not going to worry about that. We'll just make sure this one is on the top or in the middle. The ones I made have a front and back, and then they have the binder. And I'm just going to cut this out. Trying to get off as much of the white as possible. Again, if you have a paper cutter and you want to use your paper cutter, you can. And there we go. Okay, so now this one doesn't totally fit. See that? Because I couldn't size it myself. So I'm going to, before we start, I'm going to get out a little bit of black paint. And I'm going to paint this one. I don't even have to paint the whole thing. I'm just going to paint around the edges. So when we apply our book cover, it will be right in the middle. I'm just going around the edges here. I think that'll do it for now. Let me line this up too here. Oh, it's a little short. So I'm also going to put a little bit of black up here and a little bit of black down there. All right. And then we're just going to let this dry and we'll come back to this one. Oh, because the paint has to dry on here. Okay. Now I'm going to get out a little bit of white paint. And a smaller brush. And I'm just going to paint the edges of these. This we can wait to dry or not. It's up to you. I'm always a mess anyway with paint, so if I don't wait for it to dry, that's okay. And this is going to be our book pages. But because these are old books, or presumably old books, I'm going to get a little bit of maybe brown. That's black. I could use black too. Maybe this mushroom. This will work. Just a little bit of this. Oop. That one didn't come out good. I'm going to use this one. It's a little bit of this tan mushroom color. All right. And I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to dip the edge of my brush. And then I'm just going to dirty this up a little bit. Almost dry brushing it. I'm going to get a little bit of black. I'm going to wipe my black off. And I'm going to come in here and do a little bit of black as well. Wipe it off and add it to here. So that is my book edges. Okay. And then let's do, oh, you know which one I want to do? I'm going to do this one first. So I'm going to do the legends. Let me get my scissors. And yes, I'm cutting this now. But if I needed to print it out again or go right to my PDFs, I would know where it came from because I put my name on it. Okay. And because this is Mod Podge and because this is just a Halloween thing, I want to get the white off, but I'm not being that particular about how I cut these. Okay, scraps. I should have gotten my sanding block. Maybe I'll grab that when it's time. I didn't cut these out. I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch me cut paper, but I didn't cut these out so you could see how they came. Okay. I'm going to measure that, and I'm going to give this a little cut too. Okay. Then I want my bindings, which are over here. The first one I'm going to get is my Legends of Sleepy Hollow. And I'm going to cut this one out. I would get out my paper cutter, but it's a monster. And if I had my paper cutter here for you guys, it would take up most of my workspace. Okay. All right. There we go. I want it like that. Okay. So I'm going to put out a little bit of Mod Podge on my plate. Oh, I'm going to go right into the jar because that one is stuck right now. Okay. I'm going to my jar. This is a brush that I only use for Mod Podge. I'm putting on a fairly light coat of Mod Podge right on the back edge of the book. I'm just going to bring it around to the very edge here. Sorry for all that banging. APHFM is leaving for work. He's trying to get out of here and do what he needs to do. So I'm just going to wrap this around the edge a little bit, okay? So I have that. I got my Mod Podge. Let me get it on screen for you. I'm going to line it up as best I can. And I'm going to apply it to the edge. And I'm going to fold it over. Got a little crooked. I'm going to come up. Just want to fix it a little bit and go back. Because you couldn't do this with a napkin or tissue paper, but you can do it with this copy paper. Copy paper is a little strong. Plus, when you add the ink to the copy paper, that even helps. So I'm going to push this down with my finger, push that down with my finger, and apply a coat to the top. This will dry clear. We're not going to worry about it. Okay, now I'm going to come to the front, and I'm going to do the same thing. I wanted that to stick down. I could sand this part off, but I want that little bit of overlap. You're not going to see it because these books are going to be stacked. And I'm just applying a decent coat, not a thick coat, not a heavy coat, not a thin coat, but a decent coat of Mod Podge. Okay? Where's my cover? Here's my cover. I'm going to eyeball it up. And I'm going to lay it down. How cool is that so far, you guys? Isn't that just so cool? So cool. I'm going to put a little bit under here, and I'm going to wrap this around too. A little bit there. I'm going to use my thumbs And instead of sanding this off like I was going to, I'm going to wrap it around a little bit because I think it looks more like a book cover like that on the edge. Okay? And then I'm going to come back and apply a coat of Mod Podge over the whole thing. And then we're going to put this one aside for now. I'm going to let this dry while we do our other covers, and then we'll do all our backs. Okay? So that's our first one. Isn't that cool? All right, put this over here. Don't need my water right now, and we'll get our next one. This is the back for that. I don't want to mix up my backs because, believe it or not, my designs are a little bit different. So I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to cut the back off the front. And this is, oh, you know what? I think I'll use the Halloween tree because then these are different. I'll use the Halloween tree. Ooh, I'm going to cut this. I actually never even heard of the book, The Halloween Tree. I was just looking for Halloween books. We all know, well, we might know Ray Bradbury. Ray Bradbury was Fahrenheit 451, correct? Oops. I could get nice straight lines if I used my paper cutter, but you guys know I don't use a ruler. I'm probably not going to be big on dragging out my paper cutter either. There's blue underneath these. I don't know if you can see the little bit of blue that I'm cutting off. I made these designs in Canva. I don't know if you use Canva or not. These PDFs are downloadable for you. But I did, in fact, make them in Canva. I love Canva. I use it like every day, multiple times a day. So here's my front and my back. And let me get a book cover. But these are available to you, and you can click the link and get these three. You're not going to get the blue one, this Book of Halloween one, but you will get Frankenstein, the Halloween Tree, and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And a supply list. And these PDFs are sized for the wood that I'm using, and I did put the wood sizes on on the supply list as well. But you know, you could do them any size you want. You have some scrap wood laying around. I use that proportion wheel to resize my PDFs so I can print them out the sizes that I want on my printer, on my copy machine. Old school, and it works just fine. Okay, so again, I'm going to take my Halloween tree. I'm going to try and line it up a little better this time so we don't have to move it. Get it right on there. And there we go. I bend it over using my finger. And then just get a little bit of Mod Podge to cover it up. Oh, you know what? I didn't paint this one. Let's paint this one. You can leave this natural. You can paint them black. You can paint them brown. You can paint them whatever you want. A lot of times with rough lumber like this, the edges take up a lot more paint than the flat. This is the raw wood. Now I'm just going to dirty it up a little bit with a little bit of the brown. If I wanted to, I could take a liner brush and put actual lines, but this is not the part of the project. I mean, you can do that, it's your project, but this is not the part of the project that we're really concerned with. Okay, I'm going to go back to my Mod Podge, and I'm going to give a nice coat. And because I only painted the edges, I don't have to worry about the paint drying. I can just do my Mod Podge and not worry about wet paint. This is such a fun, easy little project. Okay, I'm going to get my artwork here, line it up. Trying to line it up to the bottom as best I can and not worry, and then only worry about the top. This one seems to be sized a little different, so I am going to have to get my sanding block. Okay. I'm going to come in here. Again, I want this to wrap around a little bit. I'm going to come in here with just a tiny bit of Mod Podge right underneath, and then fold this over to make it look like a book cover. Okay, and then I'm going to just put a clear coat of Mod Podge on top. Have a little bit of an air bubble in there, so I just gave a little bit more pressure to my brush and pushed it right out. Okay, so there's one and there's two. This one is almost dry, and that one needs to dry. Okay, now back to this guy that is dry. All right. Oh, that even looks cool. All right, so I'm going to take my Mod Podge. Oh, I'm supposed to do the binder first. Oh, well, we'll have to do it separate. I'm easy like that. I'm putting Mod Podge even over my paint, so the whole outline of my book will have that finish on it. This is just like, you can seal your paint with this, and this way it all has the same finish to it. I'm going to take my artwork, I'm going to eyeball it and get it as even as possible. There we go. I'm just rubbing it gently, getting out the bubbles. And then I'm going to take another coat of the Mod Podge and put it on top. At first, I'm painting from the inside out with my Mod Podge, sealing up all the edges, using a little bit of pressure on my brush. And then I'm going to come back and do right up and down the middle. Okay. Now I'm going to get this. I'm going to shrink this one up. I want to cut this one a little bit. So I'm going to fold this one in half so I can find the center. And I'm going to trim up the ends a little bit. Hopefully I didn't mess it up and trim it up too much. Okay. And then come back. There we go. So again, I'm going to just do a little bit of the Mod Podge here. And this one I'm going to get my sanding block for. I'm going to show you why. Okay. I'm going to turn it this way. This way I can look right at my Halloween and make sure it's even Steven. And then rub it down. Okay. And then a little Mod Podge over the top. We will sand everything at once when I'm ready. Again, I'm using a little bit of pressure on my brush. You can do that when you're using copy paper, and especially copy paper that's been printed on. You don't want to use too much pressure on your brush when you're using tissue paper or napkins. You will totally rip it. But if you're using craft paper, scrapbook paper, copy paper from your machine, like regular old printer paper, you can apply a little bit of pressure with your brush, as long as it's a nice soft brush, to get out your wrinkles. I'm lining this one up. Which one is this? Yeah, okay. And I'm smoothing out. Make sure I have no wrinkles in there. Again, I'm going to come up here. I'm just going to put a little bit right under here on the edge so I can fold it over. I feel like doing this just makes it look more like that's your book cover. And that's another reason why I rounded out the edge, that one edge of my wood that was going to be the front of the book. And now I'm coming back in here with Mod Podge. Now these are supposed to be old, almost antique-y books. So I'm going to get out the bubbles, but I'm not concerned with bubbles or issues. And how cool is that? We're going to sand this. We got to get to that. But I'm just moving along while I show you what we're doing here. I'm going to go to our Halloween tree. And do the same thing. Oh, I need to cut it out first. Oh, no, there it is. I thought I didn't cut it. Sorry. So I'm just Mod Podging up the back now. Nice even coat. Not too thick, not too thin. If I can apply a little bit of pressure to the book and get my paper into these nooks and crannies of this wood, I will love that, because that'll just add more texture and more of the old feeling to this book that we have. Okay. Come back up. Oops. Come back with a little bit of the Mod Podge. Put it under here. Now, obviously, our one Halloween book is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to have this around it, but that's okay. All books are different. Do you have a bookshelf? Do you have books in your house? They can, in fact, be all different. Well, I'm a mess, huh? All right. And I'm going to apply a little bit of Mod Podge here to get down these edges where we want it to look like our book cover. And then I'm going to apply a top coat to here. I'm going to grab my sanding block. Now I can't tell you what grit my sanding block is. It's well worn. I've been using it. You want like maybe like an 80 or 100 grit sandpaper. Mine is old and worn. Okay, so there's that one. This one we're not doing the back of. This I have to sand. This I do have to paint the edges of. So let me get my white. I don't mind if I get a little bit on the front of the book. Again, it's an old book. This nothing perfect about this project. These are old, ratty books that were found in someone's attic or thrift store. Oops. You can get these downloads. By clicking on the link. Cindy, hi, what are you making? I am making a set of stacked books for Halloween. We have the Halloween book, we have the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and we have, I think we have the Halloween tree, if I'm not mistaken. And I have provided PDFs that you can download for these book covers. Yours has Frankenstein. It does not have the Halloween book. And then this was just some scrap wood that I used. I'm just scruffing up the tops and the bottoms of these books to make it look like the pages are dirty. And then I have 1, 2, and 3. I have to get my sanding block and I will be right back. Again, this is a very well worn piece of sandpaper. You want to push away right on the edge, and then this will tear right off. And look, how cool is that? So that's one. Do the same thing with this one. I want to push away. I'm rocking my sander right on the edge. And I'm just going to take this off. And now, oh, this overlapped. I didn't want that to happen. I wonder if I can get it off. I think I can. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. If I take it off, it just might end up making the book a little bit more shabby than it was. Nope, it's not going to come off. Oh well, you know what I can do? I can cut another one and put it over and then have my binder on here that says the Halloween tree. It's kind of coming off a little bit. It's just going to make it look more worn, and that could be okay too, I guess. This must have stuck down on itself when I was playing around. But you know what? I'm easy, you guys. I can print out this again and put it right on here. But also, you know what? It just looks old and ratty. So, oh, we got to sand this one. this off. And then this one I might leave because I don't have a back for this book. I might end up painting it, I might not. So I'm going to leave this flapped around so you can see it. And I'm just going to fold it over. And then press that down. Okay, so we have the Book of Halloween, we have the Halloween tree, and we have the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to take them like this. And how cool is that? Let me turn you guys around. So you can use them like this on a bookshelf. You can use them like this on a bookshelf. You can switch them up a little bit so you have a cover on the bottom and the cover on the top, and put that one in the middle. And there you go. Aren't they cool? Oh, I love these. I love these. And there's the edges. There's the cover. There's the back. This one I got from someone. I couldn't share it with you because I don't remember where I got it, and it had no back. But I can paint this in blue if I wanted to. I'm not going to worry about it. I got my painty fingers on it, but it doesn't matter because it's an old book. So it just makes it look more realistic. And then this one, of course, the Halloween tree, the book edge, the binder, and the back. So there we go. That is day 23 of Halloween. Let's hold these up. Aren't they cool? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks, everyone.